Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Dawes County Board of Commissioners voting session. Today is July 2nd, 2020. We appreciate your attendance and appreciate those that are online with us at home. We'll start out with a roll call. District 1.
Here.
District 2 is on the phone. Chris, you with us?
Here, but I can't hear very good.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear us now? Hello? Try to recall.
Commissioner Gaines, can you hear us?
Barely.
Okay, hopefully we can get you a little clear here in just a minute.
I'm going to try to call you back, okay?
District
Go.
3,
Here.
District 4,
Here.
and I'm the chairman and we're here. So 4 of us are here and 1's on the phone. Hopefully we'll get him back in a few minutes. We'll start out with our opening presentation, Development Authority of Dawson County update. Chairman Tony Passarella. Tony.
I got you better.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening. I hope you and your families have a wonderful 4th. I have to be fast, and I appreciate not interrupting because Dawn has to leave and cut her grass. She's been reminding me of that.
Oh, you're in so much trouble with me.
All right, this is our quarterly update from the Development Authority. We are trying to have a continuity as far as the information that we're sharing with you, and we've chosen to segment it based on the intergovernmental agreement, the key performance indicators that were placed in that agreement. First, I guess the way to look at this employment data is the bad news is getting better. And you probably heard today that on a national level, the workforce added 4.8 million jobs last month. And so we anticipate that this graph will continue to improve. On our updates from the IAA, I want you to note that the Development Authority has and will continue to share the negative impact of some of the current health crisis in the county. First is our Economic Development Strategic Plan. We have the draft. We received the draft and reviewed it with our consultants. It's over 300 and some pages, and we're in the process now of that review of the draft and finishing that up. I think it's for the first time since I've been involved with the Development Authority that we actually had specificity, and I think you guys will really have an opportunity to look at that, and hopefully we can, through your leadership, can coalesce that with the long-range plan and the comprehensive plans for the county. In workforce development, I think we all owe Betsy McGriff, our economic development guru. She sits on this council for workforce development, and you'll hear a little bit more about the apprenticeship program that she's been able to put in place in Dawson County for the first time. We have had surprising momentum despite the health crisis in the developer relationship cultivation aspect. We have certainly seen a increase, if not maintaining the momentum from last quarter as far as people from outside the county who are contacting us either in site selection and or businesses that are looking to relocate. So that's the good news. The next KPI is property identification, and we made significant progress this last quarter in identifying a location and the cost and quantifying them. In the Carlisle Park area, we developed a conceptual build-out plan for that group for vacant parcels, topography, sewer lift locations, and private land ownership desires really make it, at this point, very difficult for us to anticipate a successful expansion of that particular property. Now, the Hightower Park area, we will hear a little bit more of that later in the presentation, but we have some good news about that. And then from a strategic plan standpoint, there are specific areas in the draft that talk to not only industries that we want to bring to the county to achieve our other strategic and tactical plans, but also the potential location for some of those in the county. The next is in planning and design and relationship cultivation. And hats off to our two key stakeholders, Jameson and David McKee, have been very influential and been involved in those to be able to look at some continuity there and anticipate what their strategic goals are and being able to coordinate through that. The goal here is to coordinate the strategic plans and initiatives with the city. We've had talk about the city in the draft strategic plan that we received from our consultants. It also addresses the downtown Dawsonville projects, both for residential, industrial, and commercial development, as well as some suggestions as it relates to transportation and infrastructure. So with that in mind, and the fact that the city of Dawsonville basically benefits greatly from the revenue that's generated by our businesses here in the county and the development authority's action specifically, we felt like it was time to engage them, and I must say we're pleased with the progress that we've gotten so far. The next is developing of incentive packages. What we have been looking hard at is are there other ways that meet any of our tactical plans that will allow us to generate incentives that were attractive to developers that go beyond abatement of taxes or pilot, so that we can have other bullets in the gun, if you will, for us to be able to do. And we have made some progress there, and we're looking at those. We do have a key learning was that with the lack of those in the past, no history with them, we found that we are probably a little behind the 8 ball as it relates to processes that were in place to engage the developers and to be able to work with them to build the case and do the discovery. And so that's one of the things that we've added to our goal, is to be able to create a process for that. The demographic data aggregation is something that is a home run in my area. We were able to launch that successfully through our website, linking it in. That I'll show you an example a little bit later in the presentation, and that's really exciting. You can see that as far as the formal economic development strategic plan, we've got some next steps presented. We probably will be finalizing that plan for submittal sometime in early August. We continue to look at new business and expansion inquiries from our existing businesses. We do have some announcements of people who will be building and adding to it. BDD is going to expand in take on an additional 200,000 square feet of manufacturing space. No word yet exactly on what the job count will be, but they are scaling up.
Who was that, Tony? Who?
BTD.
Oh, okay.
I got an interesting anecdote here that I'd like to share with you. We were approached recently by a Forsyth County entity that was looking to relocate. They're going to get out of the area if you're familiar with it, called Coal Mountain. Coal Mountain has put together a new set of city ordinances that they're driving, sort of a corridor concept, and it's driving some of the businesses to make a decision whether they can invest in their current location and bring it up to meet the standards, or they're gonna move. And so now we're starting to hear people who are looking to move as they try and make that decision, they try and quantify that. So that's an interesting thing. We do have some metal shop inquiries that are coming around. We do have a real activity in medical offices that are being expanded or moved to our area. Workforce initiatives, that's where we have an example here where Betsy has been able to secure 2 apprenticeships working with GMRC and Lanier Tech for students moving out of that, and we hope to continue to expand that and offer it. And part of the way of doing that is through existing industry support. We had in February, our last meeting was a roundtable for our current industries in the county, well attended, and it was around apprenticeships. And then our next one is scheduled for August, and it's about a legislative update for small businesses in the area. It's really an opportunity for us to foster networking and collaboration between, and one of the themes that are coming out of that, our manufacturing facilities in the county are looking for ways to move their supply chain closer to them. And so we're hoping to include that in our plan as it comes out. And here's the power partnership and development here. I've got an example with pictures. What this does is anybody that's looking for a site selection anywhere in the world can come on this website and be able to add demographic information, site selections, workforce, product, education, location, and volume. So these are just a really world-class tool that we've been able to add. And Commissioner Fawcett, you'll be happy to hear that we did it. It didn't cost us a dime.
Good, good. That makes me happy.
Yes, Georgia Power paid for us to be able to add that to our toolbox. It enhances our image. It is a high-tech county. It serves the local developers and site selection, and it gives us visibility in the state of Georgia and outside the country. Just a quick update with the Peaks of Dawson development. It's our first foray into workforce housing, which is one of the strategic and tactical plans that we have to be able to have our workforce so families can work in Dawson County, can afford to live in Dawson County. If you look at the chart, I think it's telling the red is 2019, the blue is 2020, and the green is the rental set-asides for this particular project. It's 80 units, and you can see that it's really competitive for a monthly rate. The good news is leveraging federal and state-run programs to benefit Dawson County workers. The benefits are substantial both to the county and to our workforce, and it looks for a first quarter 2021 build on the complex. The economic development administrative grants addresses that the Hightower Industrial Park. Right now, that road is a private road. Betsy has tried for a year now to get the people who own the property and use that road to chip into a fund to be able to reclaim that road and bring it up to county standards, but was unsuccessful in trying to raise the $400,000 to do that. So she went out and she found another way to do it. And so we have applied for a economic grant that's under the CARES Act that will be an 80-20 match. So 80% would come from the federal government, 20% would come from the property owners, and it would be a way to accomplish that objective and enhance the functionality for our current tenants as well as expand beyond. So that's our update.
When will you know about the grant?
Pardon?
When will you hear about the grant?
Well, we're tracking it. We can track it online, and it was submitted this week, so this is a relatively new thing. It's a tremendous amount of work. There was a lot of work done by Betsy and her team, and so we're cautiously optimistic. It's one of those things where there's a pot of money, and the first there usually get their fair share.
Well, as Tim says, you gotta have the buzzwords, don't you?
That's what they look for.
Yeah.
Questions for Tony? Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for all your hard work.
How do you do, Don?
You did really good. Thank you, Tom.
I would ask y'all to please stand for brief invocation and pledge, please. Would bow your heads, please. Our dear gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this another day and for the many blessings of life. We thank you for the opportunity to meet and carry on the business of this great county. We ask that you give us knowledge and wisdom, Lord, that we might make the right decisions for the citizens of Dawson County. And anything that we accomplish, we'll give you the honor and glory in Christ's name. We do ask and pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Are there any announcements? Anybody have any announcements? They've done made the announcement that the offices will be closed tomorrow. We'll move on to the approval of the minutes. First up, we have the minutes of the work session held on June 18th, 2020. Any additions or deletions? Motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Nix.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Satterfield. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote.
Aye.
Yeah. That's 4-0. All right. Next up, we have minutes of the voting session held on June 18th, 2020. Any additions or deletions? Motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Fawcett.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gaines. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote by show of hands or by the phone.
Aye.
And that's approved 4-0 as well. Next up, minutes of special call joint meeting held on June 26, 2020. Any additions or deletions? Motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Nix.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Satterfield. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote by show of hands or voice.
Aye.
And that's approved 4-0 as well. Next up, we have the approval of the agenda. I do have two changes to the agenda. First would be addition of number 6 under new business. Move forward with public hearing for creation of RA 1.5 corrective zoning district. And under new business as well, number 7, Legacy Link FY 2021 contract. I'll entertain a motion with those two changes.
Make a motion to approve the agenda with the two changes, number items 6 and 7.
Motion by Commissioner Satterfield,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Fawcett. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote by show of hands and voice.
Aye.
And that's approved 4-0. No one signed up for public comment, so we'll move on to new business. First up, we have consideration of comprehensive wellness plan portion and spouse/family portion of the 2020-2021 Dawson County Health Care Package. If you remember, we discussed that a couple of weeks ago. And I think there was an option for a county-run wellness type program. Brad's going to come up and talk about that. And I think otherwise, in reference to the family portion, I think that's one of the things that we may have to wait until next year because the ship sailed on that one already. Go ahead, Brad.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Last time we met, we talked about the wellness program that was presented by our broker-dealer, NFT. After reviewing it, decided that there just wasn't enough information to proceed further with it, but we did develop a Dawson County Healthcare Rewards Program, which was about the same cost, would be administrated here internally, and it would return approximately another $150 back to our employees in the way of benefits through a point system by earning certain points for doing certain things related to health. For instance, taking part in a training class, whether it's CPR or the Maintain, Don't Gain, all programs that Christy, our risk manager, monitors. Right now, with Anthem, who's our health insurance program, if you're in Anthem, you can get up to $200 back in the form of a gift card. Right now, I can go online and take a health assessment and get a $50 gift card. Once I'm done with that, I can take the tobacco sensation agreement and get $50 out of that gift card. I can do that today. So that's for everybody who has Anthem, and we have the employees that don't have Anthem, don't have insurance, so we came up with a rewards program. The goal of all of this is to reduce our premiums next year. We did get another quote from NFP this week. It was $52,000. It was through a company called Care Health, and it was a quarter sheet of detail, so it's kind of a non-player. But I think our best opportunity to give back to and to promote good health within our workforce would be the DC Dawson County Health Rewards Program, which projected out if 311 employees took part in it, it would cost the county $46,650. Having said that, we know not everybody's going to participate or get the full 150.
We also have some money coming from Anthem.
Exactly. So, because we went with Anthem this year, they gave us $20,000 for a safety and wellness program. In the past, we've gotten $10,000, and Christie's used that to run the different programs that she has, the Maintain, Don't Gain, the health and wellness program she has out at Rock Creek Park. That only touches about a third of our employees. The rewards program would give everybody the opportunity. We'd still like to keep some of that money, perhaps half. We could go as low as $8,000 to continue with that program, because it has been pretty successful. We've identified some high-risk employees that have been able to go and get other health care.
With this program, if we go with the county program, are they still gonna get the blood work? I mean, if they go get their blood work, EKG, whatever
Things we've been doing at the health fair.
things we've been doing. Like-
Right. Well, she'll still have them at the healthcare, because those are volunteer organizations that come in. But they would, if they go to that, there is preventative screening, or they can go to their own doctor and get that type of thing done. Part of this is under the Anthem program, and our program would be the annual wellness exam, where they would be.
So they have to get one either at the
And they go to their doctor.
fair we
physical.
have, or the health fair, we either have to go to their doctor to get physical, to get the points.
Correct.
Yeah, because a lot of the I filled out that questionnaire last year, I guess it was, to get my $50. You basically have to get a physical to answer some of the questions. I mean, it's that in depth. So I had to run down my papers that doctor had given me so I could actually answer all the questions. So, but yeah, it's a good thing. And so basically, you're saying that you would like to keep 8,000 of that minimally to go toward the health fair and some of the other things that you've been doing. Maximum 10 or half of it. So you said 46.4?
46.6.
6. So if we went with 10, that would be 36.6 the board would come up with, which we have.
We have, huh?
We have
We
that.
put $100,000
in our budget for increase in healthcare, so we do have that money.
And that's with the understanding too, it's based 311 employees, including all these getting the maximum points.
Right. And that, yeah, if everybody did everything, which we hope they will,
Exactly.
because we want to catch any kind of problems on the front end for all of our employees. Okay. Questions for Brad? All right. Do I have any motions?
I'll make a motion to approve approve, I guess it would be the Dawson County Health Rewards Program. And for Christie to implement that program and leaving her $8,000 to do her other additional things she's been doing.
Leaving her 8,000, okay? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to do the Dawson County Employee Comprehensive Wellness Plan portion, leaving 8,000 of the 20,000 we get from Anthem towards that to go for current things that are being done. The other 12 would go into this program, which means the county's portion would be 34,600. And we do have, would you add that to your motion that we would take that money out of the money that we have budgeted
Yes.
to fund that, and would you agree to
Second.
second that
Second
as
that
well?
amendment.
So, we have a funding source for that, we take that out of, so a motion and second. Any discussion?
Only comment I'll have, Chairman, is we have to communicate this very well through county manager down through department heads, because if we don't get participation this go round, then we don't move the needle in mitigating future claims, which is the whole goal of this process. So we have to have very good communication across the whole organization to ensure that everybody understands this is the ultimate goal, to get everybody engaged in this process. And if we don't get everybody engaged, then unfortunately next year we may have to look at the stick option, which is a monetary negative option if you don't participate. This year is a carrot. We want you to participate. We're going to reward you for participation. But if we don't get participation, then we have no other option next year.
Okay, any other discussion?
How much did Christie spend last year, for all the stuff she does in risk management? Did she spend 10,000?
She spent it all, yes, ma'am.
I know, see, I'm worried, of course, I'm close for money, but
Well, she's gonna be doing things with this other
I think
money.
there'll be some
Oh, is she?
crossover
And
in
she
some
can
of it.
cross over and tie it
she
together.
can.
I think there'll be some crossover in it.
Okay, as long as she can do that,
She sharpens her pencil.
I
yeah.
think there'll be some crossover in it.
If something comes up during the year, I mean, we still got some money that was budgeted
Yes.
for.
Yeah, we can take another look at it if we needed
We've
to.
got money left in there for healthcare that the chairman
Yeah.
put in the budget. But yeah, we gotta encourage people to go, 'cause, I mean, with all the data she had when she did the presentation, every county that participated in the health program went down, and some of them went down a lot. And so we've got to participate.
So you need to really monitor this next year to see how successful this program is.
Oh, without a doubt. Well, and that's the thing, I
But
mean,
we've got to do
try to engage everybody, we try to get everybody to understand the benefit to this, not only to their health, but to their pocketbook going forward. Because obviously, if you catch something on the front end before it becomes a major illness, the cost stays way down.
Yes.
And you remember the young lady's report, she talked about 2% of the people that actually, had some of this major stuff. So if we can catch that, I mean, we can help their health, we can help their productivity, we can help their cost. And so this is a good thing, I think. This is something other that, with proper rollout and understanding for our staff, that I think they'll be willing to participate in. I mean, so, you don't like for somebody to tell you way too much, but that's what they told me last time I did it, so that's okay. I need to lose a few pounds. So I can live with that if it keeps money in my pocket and not going somewhere else, and keeps my health in good shape.
So with the way this is now, there are rewards,
Yes.
but there's not going to be any
Not this year.
monetary punishment. Well,
Because we already rolled everything out, and we've had that discussion about getting this thing done soon enough next year to where
yes,
we need to make some
That's
changes to all this
That's
stuff that
right.
was brought up. We'll have that opportunity
yes.
to do so.
Well, if they've got Aflac, they also get some more money for a physical.
Is that
So
true?
I said, they've got Aflac, you go get a physical, you get money for that too.
And if I may, I received an email from Sharon Hall, who's our Aflac representative. During annual enrollment, she met with a lot of people, talked to a lot of people, and there's a wellness credit that can be paid out, and she paid out, I believe it was $4,900, give or take a little bit, and it averaged out, I think, with the number of employees that did it, it was $209 that employees got back just for saying, you know, and that's not including anything else. And I know one employee got close to, I believe it was $1,000 back, because they went back that many years to do their wellness. You go to the doctors, certain things, you get some more money back, so.
That is good.
Any more discussion? We have a motion and a second. Hearing nothing further, please vote by show of hands or voice.
Aye.
All right, that's approved 4-0. Next up, now consideration and review of 2019 salary study implementation to 105% of market. Brad brought that to us 2 weeks ago. We talked about that in January, moving it to June. Obviously, in January, when we had the opportunity to talk about that then, revenue was a lot better than it is today. We didn't have COVID-19. We didn't have a downturn in the economy. Although this is something I would really love to do, I don't know that now is the time to do that. Because looking at the numbers that Brad provided, I think there were 101 people that this would affect. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
And there are 220-something people that are already at that position. So although I do not believe now is the time to do that till we get a better handle on our revenue, I do think it is something that we don't forget about, and that puts, at that particular time when the revenue allows it, we do that, and we get up to that 105% for all of our 300 and some odd employees, and they're on the same page. So my recommendation today would be that we table it for 6 months, and we take another look at it in January to see where we are at that particular time. What's the pleasure of the board?
I move that that's what we do, that we table it for 6 months. And
So we have a motion
review it
table
again
for
in January.
6 months.
I'll
Review,
second that.
review in January. We have a second. Any discussion?
Are we on, so if we vote the first year, I guess we're gonna look at it in budget as far as when we start doing our
Well, we can look at
budget
it.
meetings and.
Yeah, but we'll be able to we can make budgetary changes anytime we want to. So we look at it when we know that the revenue is starting to go in the right direction and allows us the opportunity to do that. Because I really want to do it because it gets everybody on the same playing field.
Yeah.
And so we need to do it. I just don't think that right now is the time to do it with where we stand, because we've got to make ends meet until we get to that point. All right, any other discussion? All right, hearing none, please vote by show of hands or voice.
Aye.
And that's approved 4-0 table. Next up, we have consideration of review of Dawson County Employee Handbook paid time off policy. This was where we were going to look at paying 40 hours of leave time back. I think that falls in the same category because we really don't know what that number is. It could be upward of $300,000. So I think it falls in the same category, that we take a look at that again in 6 months. And that my recommendation to you would be that we table that as well. What do you say?
I'll make a motion to table it also.
Motion to table by Commissioner Nix,
Is
Second.
it,
seconded by Commissioner Gaines. Discussion.
is it the same for the 6 months
Yeah.
period?
6 months. No further discussion. Please vote by show of hands and voice.
Aye.
Okay. That's 4-0.
We got you.
Next up, we have consideration to move forward with a public hearing for alcohol ordinance update. Any other information needed on that? Motions.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Nix,
Second.
second by Commissioner Satterfield. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote by show of hands and voice.
Aye.
That's approved 4-0. Next up, consideration to move forward with a public hearing for business license ordinance update.
The only thing I'll interject there, Mr. Chairman, is I think we have recommended, and I think Jameson has agreed that we don't need an amendment to the business license ordinance at this time, that it allows for issuance of these licenses. We are going to be moving forward, as you know, with that phase 2 approach to looking at the RA and agricultural uses generally, and may there decide to define agribusiness and agritourism, but not putting that in the business license ordinance at this time.
Okay. James, you got anything to add?
Just to echo that, yeah, it's better suited absolutely for the land use resolution as opposed to putting the idea was putting our business license ordinance.
So your recommendation would be to vote not to move forward with a public hearing at this
Yes.
time. Right, so you've heard the discussion. Any other information needed? Motion.
So moved, not to move forward.
Not move forward with a public hearing at this time on
Right.
business license ordinance. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Fawcett, seconded by Commissioner Nix. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote by show of hands or voice. And that's approved 4-0. Next up, number 6, we have addition under new business. Move forward with a public hearing for creation of RA 1.5 corrective zoning district. We've had lots of discussion on that. This is to go to a public hearing. Actually requires 2 public hearings, one to the Planning Commission and one to the Board of Commission. Any other information needed on that? Motions.
Motion to move forward with a public hearing.
Motion by Commissioner Nix,
Second.
second by Commissioner Satterfield. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote by show of hands or voice. Chris, are you with us?
Aye.
All right. That's approved 4-0. Next up, we have number 7 under new business, Legacy Link FY 2021 contract. Don presented that to us earlier today. Time frame is of essence here. Any other information needed? Motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Satterfield, seconded by Commissioner Fawcett. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote by show of hands or voice.
Aye.
And that's approved. No one signed up for public comment in this section. All right, we do have a need for executive session for litigation. I would entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Satterfield,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Gaines. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote by show of hands or voice.
Aye.
And that's approved 4-0. We'll take a few minutes, and then we'll go into executive session. We'll stay in here to do that. So I want to thank every one of you for your attendance. And with that being said, we are adjourned. There will be no vote coming out of the executive session.
No, sir.